All right. Cheers, brother. Bring that in careful. It's hot. Yeah, just bring it into your vicinity. You don't have to like put your mouth to it or anything. You just have to kind of.
I don't have to like.
Yeah, no. But bring it in front of you though. Like pull it further. Yeah. Just pull it to your center,
Like
and
that.
then you could just pull it out to the. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, there you go. That's fine. It'll pick up pretty much everything.
So
So, but yeah, this is it. Thanks so much for doing this.
thanks for inviting me. My first podcast.
Yeah, this is my second guest
Second
on the
guest.
podcast.
Cool.
So, pretty historic, you know.
Yeah.
I was curious actually about your name, Loui.
Mm-hmm.
Is your last name Alexander?
No, my middle name is Alexander.
Oh, okay.
My last name is McGee. It's
Okay.
Irish.
Okay. Oh no
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have ancestry going back to Ireland?
Yeah, something like that, or
Yeah.
maybe like ancestors here in America, like during like the slave trade, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
a lot of people got their last names.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are both your parents black?
Both of my parents are black. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Native American blood and stuff like that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Native, you got all around the world. You got Irish, Native American,
Maybe.
Africa.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope shit,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's kind of like me too. I mean, I was born in Europe.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Romania.
Oh,
I don't know
I
if
thought
I
you
ever
were
told you.
Serbian.
Well, my stepfather is Serbian.
Oh, okay.
So when I came to the States, I was 8 years old, and then my stepdad had already married my mom.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom came before me. When I was a kid. Yeah, careful, that's hot, man. It's still very fucking hot. But yeah, and then that's how I got the last name. So my stepfather is Serbian,
Oh,
and then
okay.
I was raised in kind of like a Serbian community culture.
Okay, yeah.
Did you get that from my last name?
No, I didn't.
Did I tell you that?
No.
Oh, well then how'd you?
I just know Serbian Chicagoans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just kind of assumed.
Well, I mean, like, I studied abroad in Europe. I just can
Okay.
pretty much tell, like, where people are.
Yeah. What
The
did you
structures
study?
of their face.
Oh, okay. Where did you study?
I studied in Italy. In Italy.
In Italy.
Torino.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
sick. Torino, Italy.
Torino, Italy. You ever heard of it?
I haven't.
It's actually like a sister city of Chicago too. So it's big on architecture. It was actually it was the fun fact of it is that like it was like the Italian cinema like center before like the Italian cinema moved to Rome. Torino was like the city where like all the stars went, like Clint Eastwood, Marlon Brando, they all have like Italian movies that they made in Torino. So it's like pretty cool. Before they moved it to Rome.
That's wild.
Yeah.
How far from Rome is it, do you know? I mean, relatively, not.
Well, Rome is like Torino's like in the north, like right at the border of France, and like Rome is like in the south. A little
Okay.
bit,
Yeah,
like,
south center
middle,
coast, right?
in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's pretty far.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's wild, man. How long were you out there for?
It was like a 6-month semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That must have been a good time.
Best time of my life.
Is that so? Basically, we're talking about cinema and film, and that's kind of like your field of interest, as is mine. What kind of influenced you to, take on film, be in the film industry?
What kind of like interest? Like
Yeah, just like as what kind of influenced you to
to do movies?
do movies, yeah.
Pretty much just like having like no talents like growing up, just like like I played a little bit of sports and stuff like that, but in school I didn't really care about anything, and then I just started like I actually started journaling, and that's how I got into like writing, and then I come from a big movie like family, like everybody in my family just like loves movies, like we pretty much have like conversations only with like movie dialogue. So I pretty much just like started like writing movies when I was like in high school, writing like short stories, plays, and then yeah, I just started just thinking about it more, like writing screenplays and like just being creative because I always thought I was pretty funny, you know. Everyone thought I was a pretty funny kid, and I I don't know. I just started taking it more seriously, and here we are today. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
That's I can kind of relate to that.
uh,
Yeah, I kind of that's I was the same way in high school. I played sports,
mhm,
but I never really had any specific talents.
yeah,
I never really had like a focus on career wise where
yeah,
I wanted to end up, and I was just always in movies. And then I started writing, and then I decided to make movies. And then exactly here I am in
yeah.
LA,
There you go.
and
Yeah,
so that's pretty amazing, man. So I told you, so you have filmed a few movies you've of your own.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty cool, man. I think that's because doing anything creative, you know, where you're kind of it's kind of like a self-expression, I
yeah,
think, right?
yeah,
And I think it's kind of brave to put something out for people to see that's like a self-expressing, you
yeah.
know, form of art essentially. And you know, wait for the feedback. So how was that for you when you put out your films? Did you get any sort of feedback that you weren't expecting or that you enjoyed or you did expect or you disliked about it?
You know, I was kind of disappointed actually. Like, well, honestly, like, it's good that you brought that up. Like, you know, it definitely is like a form of like self-expression. So it's definitely like putting something that's like super like intimate and like fragile like out for the world to see. And a lot of people like don't understand. Either they don't understand it or you know they don't really care. So but one of the biggest thing, like, even like sharing it with like my family, like I would send in like the group chat, like, hey, you guys want to watch my new movie or this music video that I helped on, whatever. I'll share it, and like my family, they would be like, oh, cool, you know, they'll see me like nice, period, and that shit pisses me off, bro. Like, like if you hate it, I want you to fucking hate it and be
Yeah.
like and own it.
Yeah.
Like fucking feel some
Give
way
me
about it.
something.
Yeah. Feel some kind of way about it because obviously like I don't make movies to like to be perfect. Like I obviously knew that it wasn't like a fucking Mission Impossible movie. Like this was like a short like fucking movie that was like experimental. I'm expanding on philosophies that like go through my head or philosophies that I've read. And so it's like my so when I started putting first movies out, I guess you know I didn't really get like I got buzzed for like you know being a person that like can complete a project, you know, and like can fund his own fucking 15-minute movie with like a 7-person cast and a 10-person crew. But other than that, like I wasn't really making like any noise and also I was still really insecure about my movies because of what you said. It's really self-expressive. So I didn't really like broadcast my work like even on my Instagram right now how you saw it like I didn't put it on there before. I would post that like oh I'm doing some stuff but like actually like sharing like these works I feel like they were a little more for me to prove that I mean for me to you know build expand my skill set. I did get a little bit of feedback, you know, but yeah, just like not exactly where I wanted to go,
Right.
but that's
Yeah.
that's the risk of being like a artist anyway. Like it's like you know like I was very like never satisfied before, and so now like I want to be like you know like more appreciative of like what I actually made. Like that's the only way it's ever gonna be like successful and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, man. I think that's you know, there's good and bads with that. You know, it's unfortunate that you would get discouraged to kind of, I guess market your material because of the almost the lack of feedback, and primarily that coming from the closest people to you, right? Like your family, your friends. When you put a work out, you would expect people to support you, and again, I can relate to that in the sense I record music, and when I first started that was kind of my first step into creativity, and then essentially putting out material that I expected feedback on.
Yeah.
But I think when I first started that, I didn't quite understand the idea of receiving a, any type of attention from the work that you put out, and then how that ultimately affects you as an artist.
Yeah.
And then going forward, and then like the psychology behind what goes on, right?
Yeah.
Because clearly, I mean, just us talking about it, there's a lot of different dynamics of, you you receiving feedback, and then your mind processing the feedback, and then essentially acting on the material you have, and then the material that you want to make going forward.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of like an interesting dynamic, and
yeah,
it's like it's just part of learning.
Yeah, and the wild thing is, it all stems from you. Like, if you're not putting the mental fortitude or have the creative fortitude, it's like, what is the project anyway? So
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's completely it's like a self battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's like there's nobody. You're gonna have people around you that encourage you, or your crewmates, right? People that work for you or with you. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you kind of got to take command of your own shit.
Right.
And it's like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Because people can, again, encourage you and tell you, hey, do this and that, but no one's gonna steer your boat.
Yeah. Yeah. No. How was it for you when you started music and stuff? Or?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I can definitely relate. As far as movie making, I haven't done any movies. I haven't really been a part of. I've been a part of small projects, but nothing to the extent of like what you've done. You've actually, filmed and put a cast together. As small as your movies have been, as short as they have, you still have 3 separate projects. That's
and
right.
They still cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Man, tell you that.
Yeah.
Right?
I believe it, man. Because I mean, you gotta pay people for
everybody
their
wants
time.
To be paid, and rightfully so, right?
Exactly.
Rightfully so. But yeah, it'd be cool for you to, we got some projects coming up.
Dude, yeah. I mean, again, I definitely love to get involved.
Yeah.
Like I was just telling you right now, with the music that I have, I've been trying to make a music video for a long time.
Okay.
And how I talked about like people flaking and how I hated and all this crap. Yeah. I had a guy who is in the same, movie maker, photographer, whatever, and one day I spoke with him about, getting together and recording video for one of my songs. And he was all into it and everything, and then when the day came, he flaked out, and then it was just like I was left like feeling like shit. So I know how that feels, and that's why I felt so shitty about flaking out, inviting you twice, and then flaking. So but whatever, we're here now and we're getting it done.
Yeah, we're getting it done.
And then obviously, I'd love to obviously work.
Yeah, and even touching back on like the whole flaking part, it's like, I mean, everybody has like so much going on. Like LA's like expensive place to live. Like,
oh, God.
It's like the forefront of our minds. Like, oh shit, paying rent in 30 days, 28 days. So I definitely like get why some people do flake. Like, it's definitely like a thing, but yeah. I think it's good to,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the busiest guy, to be honest with you. I don't want. Yeah, I just don't want to.
Well, maybe maybe you're not busy like running around, but maybe you're mentally busy.
Yes and no. I mean, really, my biggest, kind of. There's tons of words for it, but for some reason, deficit is coming into my mind. you know, with me is I just, when I don't commit,
Yeah.
you know, and again, it starts mentally. When I don't commit mentally to something, like, okay, this is gonna happen, then that's when stupid shit gets in my head and I'm thinking about something else, and then now I'm in bed for another hour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like shit doesn't get done, you know? But genuinely though, the last time I flaked, literally, I was up fucking all night editing the last podcast with my first guest.
True.
I'm not fucking joking, dude. I started at like 11, and I didn't go to sleep. It was, by the time I lay down and looked at my phone, it was 6:50 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I was like,
That's
fuck.
good, though.
And my computer, literally, it didn't stop uploading so this is the program, right?
Okay.
Once I have to upload the content from here onto the computer so I can upload it to YouTube. It's just, this computer's horrible. It's horribly fucking slow, and it just does not. It takes hours, man, hours. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I know we keep going back to it. So, but yeah, I mean, LA's fucking wild. It's a wild place.
It's a wild place. Wild West for sure.
Wild West. There's no, you know, overrated kind of like sense behind that term.
No.
If that, you know, right? Like, it's just the Wild West. It fucking is. It's just the shit that happens out here is like, you know, people from the suburbs or people from nice, but like, and me and you are from the same place.
Yeah.
We're from the same area in Illinois.
Yeah.
You're from Oak Park?
Yeah, Maywood, Oak Park.
Oak Park, Maywood. Okay, I'm from Gurnee.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gurnee.
so if anybody listens to this that's from Illinois, I know my sister's boyfriend does, so that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me and you met on the street.
On the street, walking our dogs. So.
Yeah, we lived 3 blocks from each other.
3 blocks, yeah.
And that's why I was surprised you drove over here, because I was like,
because I'm lazy.
Did you know how close it was though?
Yeah, I did, but you know, it's like the whole walking aspect. The first thing someone said to me when I first moved to LA, because I would walk to the grocery store from my apartment, which was like 3 blocks away. They're like, "This is how you know you're not from LA, because you walk."
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
that's
I guess
funny.
now I'm like super LA, and I can drive like 2 blocks.
Yeah. The Ralph's over here. You go here? The Ralph's on Sunset?
On the Brea. But it's like right around the corner,
Yeah, I can literally throw a rock at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walk, okay, and I take Jordan with me. He loves going in there.
Yeah.
But I do drive sometimes, only because I'm too fucking lazy to carry the groceries.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, fuck that. I
Yeah.
got a fucking car. And I'm like, what are we fucking peasants here?
Yeah.
You know, what are we, commoners? Like, fucking horses and buggies and shit?
we have luxuries, like, fucking use it.
Yeah, dude, that's like part of like the struggle of being an artist, especially in LA. I mean, I'm sure New York and other places in the world, but it's like, you know, you have to be grateful for the things that you have.
Yeah.
And today we live in such a like grateful time because we have technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the computer, we have our cell phones, right? We have it allows you to do things that people 20, 30 years ago weren't able to do.
True. Yeah.
You know?
So true.
Gets you in contact with essentially everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy. I mean, that's why you have, you know, 14, 15-year-olds getting famous on TikTok and, you know, these fucking hip hop artists, you know, and it's crazy, but it still doesn't discredit the struggle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like you can still go viral, and then tomorrow you'll be nobody, or sorry, I won't say nobody, but you know, you'll be irrelevant. You know.
Well, nobody is, you know, it's a pretty good relevant term.
You think so?
I think so.
I thought it was a little too harsh.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what Hollywood is. You know, Hollywood's pretty harsh, and Hollywood, if you want to get specific, but
Hollyweird.
Hollyweird, that's a good one.
Hollyweird.
Yeah, instead of Hollyweed.
Yeah.
No, but when, and that could really, it's kind of a relevant term to essentially anybody chasing any type of success, right?
Yeah.
Because if people don't know you, if you're not active, if you're not, you know, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, so many people move here and they have like, you know, they have it in their head. I was part of this group as well that, you know, you're gonna get famous overnight, like just because you're special, maybe. a mass of people once treated you special in your life, and then you move to LA and you think it's gonna happen. So it's like you're constantly like meeting people like that, like every day. Like everyone's doing things to get attention, and then some people do get their 15 minutes, and then what happens next, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, real quick, I just remembered I
Yeah.
put sugar in your coffee.
Oh,
I'm
it did taste a
sorry.
little sweet.
I'm sorry about that. Do you want to switch? This has no sugar in it. I don't know how. I was like, I got confused.
Wait, so you're
I
trying
put
to
sugar.
take my coffee because your coffee's
I'm not trying to. No,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying because I just realized I'm like drinking black coffee, which I do love. But originally I was gonna put the sugar in it for me, not you. And then I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
But
well, it's okay
if it's
now.
okay,
Yeah,
it's
it's
good.
okay now.
I didn't put a lot.
If you want to get more sugar though.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Because I drink it black too.
Oh, yeah,
Typically.
okay. Yeah.
Typically. So I was so confused with the. See, this is my mind. It just doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah.
So for some reason, I thought you wanted the sugar. I don't know why.
So you don't work in restaurants, huh?
No.
No, okay.
No, I'm at hotels.
Hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Which-
usually suited.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Four Seasons or what?
No. Close, I guess.
The Ramada Inn or?
No. Do you know the Beverly Wilshire Plaza?
Yeah.
The Plaza Hotel?
That's where Whitney Houston OD'd, you know?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
The one off of Santa Monica Boulevard, like.
It's
On the way to
off of
Beverly Hills.
Wilshire.
Oh, Wilshire,
It's off
yeah.
of Wilshire.
Wilshire and Santa Monica.
Kind of.
Like the
Like where the Hilton is
Yeah,
on
yeah.
on that intersection?
Yeah.
Just go further down. The Palomar.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The Palomar,
Yeah.
like 2 blocks down.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty bougie place.
hmm
But like most hotels with most private hotels, I feel that kind of have this bougie kind of. It's more of like a face,
hmm
if that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
behind the scenes. It's not really.
No.
It's not fucking 5-star.
Well, yeah, I've worked in Beverly Hills, so
Okay.
yeah,
Where?
pretty much.
At a restaurant?
Restaurants, and then I started doing like nightclub stuff. So
I actually used to work at the AKA.
AKA,
Do you know the AKA?
yeah.
Yeah, I used to work there in Beverly Hills on
Oh,
Crescent.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's
we were
cool.
like neighbors.
Yeah.
I used to
you were
work at
close, right?
like I worked at Bouchon.
Okay.
Well, my first was like CPK, California Pizza Kitchen.
Okay. Oh, no
It's-
shit.
And no, trip out. This is the first one. That's the first location like ever. So
Oh, the CBK. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. That's not probably a big deal to Chicagoans, but it's a big deal to Californians, I guess.
I'm not a big
CBK.
California. Yeah, I'm not a big.
Yeah, I mean we have deep dish. They have.
Well, we have CBK in Chicago.
Do
though.
we? Oh, okay.
In Chicago, yeah. Yeah.
I never seen one.
Oh
but-
yeah. Yeah. Actually, there was one right around the corner from where I used to work. I used to work at the, do you know Chicago pretty well?
I know Chicago pretty well, yeah.
Fairly.
But I left when I was 18. If
Okay.
if that helps.
No. It's I used to work at this hotel called the James Hotel.
Hmm.
Did you know it? Heard of it?
It's like downtown.
It is downtown, yeah, but it's like Gold Coast. Okay, so like Wabash and Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah, Orlando. And so the next block over is I think it's like Grand or something.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a CPK right there.
Oh, wow.
And I used to walk to it. That's how I know.
Wow.
But yeah, getting off topic of pizza because I can talk about pizza all day.
Yeah.
But I fucking totally forgot. Like we're from the same area. You're like, oh, do we? And I'm just like, I'm an idiot. But yeah, getting back on the topic of movie. What were we talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about, just the struggle of, getting to that artistic value, like even making movies. So we worked in hospitality
Yeah.
to,
Yeah. I don't know. We're talking about hospitality, but well, sugar with the
with the coffee.
with the coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, hospitality is wild though. Even with kind of Hollywood,
Yeah.
because you got fucking. I'm sure. Did you wait on celebrities? at
Oh
all?
yeah, man. Yeah. It's like
Different world, right?
it's different world, man.
Uh,
And honestly, I mean, like, it's so weird because, like, even when I told my dad in high school, I was like, yeah, I want to do movie stuff, or, maybe I move to LA after I go to college or whatever. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're going to be waiting tables. And I'm like, no, no, no. And then sure enough, that's what it was.
What did you think you were gonna be doing when moving to LA?
Well, man, dude, I really thought that it was just like, I thought I was like I thought I was like the most talented person in, writer,
You thought you were gonna get in
filmmaker.
right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like, just because, also, like, I had a fraternity brother who, like, introduced me to, like, his uncle, and that was, like, one of the first meetings that I had in LA. And also in Vegas, like, I did a lot of, like, I was, like, working on reality TV shows, like, my momentum was just like really high, and like my work ethic and my passion was just like ecstatic. So there was never any doubt in my mind, and it's like obviously like I feel like I moved here and I became exactly who I wanted to become. I came here to become a filmmaker for sure. It's just more realistic.
There's a lot of, I think, kind of aspects in looking at somebody that moves to the West Coast in search of this essentially dream, right?
Hmm.
Of being a big movie star or music producer or whatever. The the idea that, because the only reason I thought the same thing. I
Hmm.
thought I was gonna move to LA and I was gonna live this life. I knew I was gonna struggle, but I thought I was gonna struggle in the industry more
Hmm.
of, you know, getting gigs, and
Yeah, I
this and
thought I was gonna
that.
have like the Justin Bieber struggle, like I
Yeah,
partied too hard and I had to get
yeah,
kicked out of hotels and stuff like that. That's the kind of struggle that I was looking for, but
yeah. Which is kind of wild because looking at that too, I mean, that is a struggle, right? I mean,
it is.
the kid dealt with probably severe depression and
Hmm.
drug addiction and pressure from the
Yeah,
public and this and that, and you look at that and you're like, oh yeah, it's all right, it's all good and this and
yeah.
that, but it's not.
No,
Like
man.
it's
Have
real
you ever
shit.
watched the show Californication?
Mm, yeah, David Duchovny, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've seen a little bit. It's nothing, no real reality in there at all,
No,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I beg to differ. I think
Okay.
it's like super spot on.
To be honest, I didn't really.
Connect with it.
Well,
Oh,
no, I didn't really see a lot of it.
oh, okay.
I only caught glimpses of it only because it was like
Yeah,
on TV.
I would think that he's like, he's that buddy type of guy, like he's that guy that you can just like, bullshit with, talk shit.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
character is so if he was in this room with us, we would have a fucking blast. Like you just,
with the character.
yeah,
Yeah,
he'd be great for your podcast, by the way,
yeah.
if you ever could book this guy.
I
But
think I know what just yeah.
yeah.
So a little bit about the character. He's a washed out journalist, right?
Uh, well, how can you describe his character? He's a little bit of an addict. So
Which we can all relate to.
he's a womanizer.
Okay.
He gets pussy
Uh,
by fucking smiling. He gets pussy for no reason.
yeah.
This was I can understand the unnatural aspect that you're talking about, because this is one of the reasons why I didn't like the show, because I was like, dude, this guy just gets laid for no reason. But
Yeah.
but when you are like, but being a writer, like this guy, his character, he writes movies. Or yeah, that's how he pretty much got famous. He also wrote a book. So, and he has like this personality that is just it's no wonder why he writes, you know what I'm saying? Because people who create content, people who create movies, people who create music, we are the music. We are that movie. Even
Right.
movie directors, very, very dramatic people.
Oh yeah.
More so than the actors. Like the
You have to
actors
be.
have no idea how insane you have to actually be to actually have the mental fortitude to write like 13 characters in one fucking script. That's damn near like social schizophrenic, you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's like so with the character of Californication, like he smokes weed, he's like this white guy who does like he has this two-seater, he has this daughter, and he's just like mentally miserable all the time, even though he lives in like LA. Like this is this is nirvana. This is heaven. Like we live in paradise, and we're constantly still like unhappy. Well, compared to compared to Illinois, I feel like compared to most places, California has like the happiest people. But still, there's this underlying of like unhappiness and discontentment that we suffer from on a daily basis in LA. And that was the awesome thing about this show. You like have this guy who has the American dream, like he's getting laid for no reason, like he's still cool with his baby mother, like his baby mama is like his daughter's cool, and then he finds out that he has a son that's 19 years old, and he becomes best friends with his son. Like he just has like this super cool life, but at the same time you see how miserable he is, and like he's a rock star, and sometimes he's waking up and he's in Tijuana with like some fucking chick that he doesn't even know. And when you're a young man, it's like, man, that's like the fucking dream. Like that's what I want to fucking be like. You know?
Yeah.
I used to watch this show Mad Men, and I always wanted to be like
yeah.
Don Draper. Like he's just like this womanizer, just like he can have any woman that he wants, and also like any influence over men the way that he wants when it comes to his business. So it's like these types of things that we and we become we become like what we admire. We become like what we like fascinate about. And so like even for me, like I'm very like as a writer, one of the reasons why like I can even write like some psychological thriller. Like right now, I was spending this morning like writing this female villainous character, and she's talking about how like first of all her conversation starters that did you know that Jesus Christ was a drug dealer and the Virgin Mary was a prostitute, and then she says that God and Satan were once the same entity before they separated and before Lucifer fell from the heaven, Wow. So I have these thoughts that like go through my head, and like if I was to say this to like normal people who don't realize that, I'm writing a movie. I'm like writing a movie as I speak, like I'm not like I don't have to write a movie. I don't have to be in front of my computer to like write a movie. Like thoughts are constantly coming and thoughts are constantly going, and what I record, that is the movie. And most people feel like they're watching a movie when they watch my fucking Instagram stories and whatnot. So it's like we have like these, like you were touching back, we have such ways to be like creative. We have such ways to be like happy. But we all inevitably we all become like exactly who we are, like, or what we fantasize about for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's this idea that like of self-expression through your work.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of, again, a lot of different words to say, but the reality of being a writer. You can essentially take the story and you have complete control of it. And like how you said, you write, as you kind of talk. These ideas, they come, you kind of like, it's just that expression coming out of you, and then you just put it down, and you're like, you're a movie maker, you're a filmmaker, you're telling stories. And I think that's unique in the sense when you look at Californication, and then you look at Mad Men, and you look at these characters essentially were built on some sort of influence, right? I mean, I'm sure you can probably relate that to everything. So that's the thing, like how I originally said, it's unrealistic. That I probably jumped the ship because, there's always an element of unrealistic, right? In Hollywood with content, but ultimately they do get influenced, I think. Yeah. From some sense of reality.
Yeah.
And
it's like that saying. It's like, is art like a reflection of reality, or is reality a reflection of art?
It's a good one. I've never heard that, but
I don't know who said it, but somebody said it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like when you think about comedians, almost, right? These guys make jokes. They make jokes, but the closer it is to the truth, the funnier it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. So are they really just making jokes?
Yeah.
You know, or are they kind of relaying messages? You know, but they're more appealing because you're like, fuck, that's true.
Yeah.
And because it's true, it's funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
Because they're making fun of it.
Yeah.
But essentially, from a creative standpoint, it's all relevant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even in music, right? I mean, what's real? More real, the art, the expression of reality, or reality itself?
Yeah, true.
So, but I think that's just the beauty of life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
Well, it's just funny too because like during film school we did like during screenwriting courses we do talk about like how ironic it is that like when you're like making a project, be it a movie or even music, it always has to make sense. But we live in like a life in a world where nothing absolutely makes sense. Everything is a contradiction of itself. You know, we're constantly walking contradictions. We're constantly switching our philosophies, and which is okay because we're human. But when we make projects, we put this pressure on ourselves that everything has to make sense, and I just feel like it's so like limiting. Well, first of all, I'm a person who hates rules. You tell me a rule, I'm probably gonna find a way to break it, whether you know it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when it comes to movies, it's like it used to drive me crazy, and it actually took my a lot of my creative prowess away, because I'm like, fuck, I'm writing this movie, but this element of this character just doesn't make sense, and I'm like, why do I have a girl who she wants to be so and so, but she's doing something that contradicts that goal? And so for a viewer's purposes, that is annoying to watch. But in a reality sense, it's like, oh, maybe because she's a representation of a real life character, you know, that maybe I once knew. Maybe she's influenced, as you said, influenced by something that generated from a real life occurrence. And it doesn't make sense. Nobody makes sense. Like, I don't make sense to myself, and I don't expect myself to be like understood, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything is what it is, you know? So I think that's one of the reasons that's one of the things that really keeps a lot of us back from like success, or even like myself, is having like confidence in my work. It's like, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm proud of, like, I colored outside of the fucking lines of the box, you know what I'm saying? I'm fucking like, I'm not like, can I curse on here? My bad. I didn't
No,
even be
fuck
like
yeah,
that.
in the words of Joe Rogan, this is the internet.
Oh
dog,
shit,
you know?
yeah, what's up, Joe Rogan?
Yeah, dude. So
Yeah, so it's like,
you can
dude,
say whatever the fuck you want.
yeah, man. So it's like I just hate, like, you know, like the whole creative, like, you know, condensing that we do. And it fucks with us. It fucks with our creativity. Fucks with us. Our overall happiness. It fucks with our overall merit, you know? So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where like the challenges of being an expressive like artist, you know, ties into the fact that even though whatever you're creating, it is you, right?
Yeah.
But you're still creating it for an audience, and you have to keep that audience in mind.
Yeah.
And anytime we say stuff like, oh, well, we don't give a fuck, we don't care what they think, or we don't give a shit what these people, well, we do, right? Because there is a level of audience that we want to reach. We want people to like it. We want people to say, yeah, good shit, good job, we like your shit, this and that. And it's like, so that's where it comes into play. It's like that's what makes, I think, essentially a good, you know, artist in any dynamic. Like the fact that you can be yourself expressively in your content, but know how to connect it with the audience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then probably at the same time be like, well, fuck the haters.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck those assholes that don't like it or whatever.
True. Yeah.
But that's my favorite part about creativity in general
Mhm.
is the fact that you can be whatever.
Sure.
And how, like you said, you hate rules.
Mhm.
I know exactly what you mean, because I want to always do things against the common, the status quo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to do things my way,
Mhm.
and if it goes against or different than what is common, then I mean I love that.
Yeah.
The more I don't seek it, you know, I don't like, oh, it has to be. But if I see it differently, then I'm gonna explore that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's just, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, man. Like Kanye
Creative.
West, you know.
Yeah.
He's
a genius artistically, but as a person, he's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
The guy's crazy,
Yeah.
really.
But yeah, it's something that he says too. Is, you know, name one genius that's not crazy. You know, Elon Musk.
Well,
Elon Musk
yes
is
and
a
no.
genius in his own right, and
Yeah.
you can't even measure his mind. And you mentioned Christopher Nolan's the
Yeah.
other day. We were talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Christopher
yeah,
Nolan.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's one of my all-time filmmakers,
He's
because
amazing.
what he's doing, especially with this 2020 that happened, he released this movie called Tenet, and
I seen it.
and a lot of people, you know, noted. I can't understand some of the dialogue.
I did not like the movie. Yeah. Do you agree?
I can't say that I dislike it only because I understand what he's trying to express. Or, from my perspective, I understand, or I think that I understand what he's trying to express. And basically, it was basically touching on the fact that, like, we are essentially, like, trapped. Or, in some perspectives, we're trapped in, like, a certain matrix. We're trapped in a certain reality. And we're constantly trying to make this life a linear line, and it's not. It's not a linear equation. So what he's doing, and he's been doing this for a while. He started this philosophy with Inception, or actually Memento. I don't know if you see Memento. It's the guy who he loses his memory like every 7 minutes, like a dog. So he writes like notes to himself. Sometimes like he has like false information. So the whole movie is about him. Like, this is Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce? Okay.
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie. Yeah.
But
not a huge fan.
Yeah, he's acting in it, but Christopher Nolan. I think that's Christopher Nolan's like second or third movie. Okay, and so yeah, he's ever since then he's been expanding on this philosophy that like our lives are not like a linear line. The concept of time is not linear. Like we probably experience something when we're like 91 years old and when we were 3 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like, or vice versa. Or, you know, like, and I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty nerdy. It's not like mainstream conversation, but you know, it's something that he wanted to bring to the audience, and he had the opportunity to actually do it. And honestly, it wasn't his best piece of work. I will agree. It wasn't Inception. It wasn't Interstellar. But it's definitely still is. It's interesting, like the decisions that he made, like the filmmaking decisions. But I would love to I haven't even watched like an interview of him like talking about it. But
I love that. First of all, this whole idea of non-linear time and relevance, essentially.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I love all that, and that's why his movies, Inception, Interstellar, fucking huge movies, great movies, blow my mind, and I'm sure a lot of other people. But you know, the movie Tenet, for me, I'm a very visual content like absorber. Okay, you know, when I'm very, very visual, and aesthetic is important to me, as to me, right? Yeah. So aesthetically, the movie for me just did not work, and that distracted from the content. I thought the content was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but the aesthetically, the movie for me did not work, and I couldn't watch it. I couldn't finish it, to be honest. I think I watched like the first 15 to 30 minutes or something.
Were
And I was
you in
like,
a
I can't
theater
watch
or?
it. No, I was on the plane.
Oh, okay.
I was on the plane, and but to me, I don't have to be in a theater to like a movie or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when the movie first started, I was like, this is fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? For me, I was like, this is Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
This is top of the line,
Yeah.
top notch movie making. Mysterious. What the fuck is going on? Okay, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna find out what's. And then somewhere along the line, it just fucking flatlined for me.
Yeah.
You know. And one of the big things for me, the main actor. I thought it was a bad cast.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, what's his name, David Washington?
I don't think he's that great of an actor, to be honest.
I think he got the role because his father is a big movie star, and
which is ironic because he didn't want to rely on that, you know, for getting roles. But
the thing is, when he doesn't have a choice,
yeah,
right?
He doesn't have a choice.
Dude, your dad's one of the biggest movie stars.
Yeah.
To date.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, you're gonna live in that shadow whether you want to or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't change your name.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Okay.
I agree.
I mean, that's just a fact of the matter, guy. But that's the thing, you know. We're handed cards in life. You either embrace them and you flip them or you don't.
Right.
Besides the fact, I think he got the role because of that. I don't think he was good for the role. Mm-hmm. 1, 2. Fine, cast him. Okay, but don't cast a girl that's a whole head and a half taller than him.
Yeah.
The lady they cast to antagonist to him, I thought, what are you doing?
Was she the antagonist? Like, I didn't really get her. Like, her storyline was like a distraction from his storyline.
And that's the thing too. Yeah. That's where I cut it off. When she came in, okay, and they're conversating.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, this is too much information for me right now. I don't know what's going on. 1, 2. Okay, like as soon as he walks into the kitchen after their conversation, and then he just fucking like takes out all her bodyguards for no reason, apparently. These guys are like 6'5", 300-pound built fucking bodyguards, and this guy's like 5'6".
Yeah.
Like no muscle on him.
Right.
And he takes out 5 massive bodyguards. I mean, aesthetically to me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And not to mention, she's like 6'5" herself, and he's like 5'5". And they're like trying to have a conversation. He's trying to whisper something into her ear, and he has to get on his tippy toes. You know what I mean? Like these things to me are important, and I think take away from the whole aspect of, not to mention the storyline, like you were mentioning. What are they talking about? What's going on here? You know, 1 minute you're talking about like reversing bullets, and then the next you're like having dinner with some hot chick. You know, and it's like, what the fuck? Again, I'm sure the context of the movie was great, but aesthetically, I think it took away from the movie and it killed it.
I agree with what you're saying for sure. It just makes me think just because it's like Christopher Nolan that it has to be like some form of like intention that he put into everything that happened in that movie. And I'd be curious to like, hey, maybe we can get Christopher Nolan on your podcast to like fucking explain the movie or explain like what were some of the decisions that he was making, because at first I wanted to say like this is a European film, and European films are so different from American movies. Like they're definitely not in like the box of like the 3-act structure where there's a beginning, middle, and end. There's like shit happening. There's people fucking each other, and not just like in a solo relationship. So I don't know. That's usually like the theme of like European movies. But like, yeah, Tenet was a little frustrating to see. I did see it in theaters, and I drove like an hour away from LA because
you had to.
It was the only theater that was open during the pandemic, and I can't say that I wasn't blown away about the movie at all.
Yeah, the fact that you had to drive an hour.
Yeah,
didn't help.
I was like very curious about his philosophy on like where he was going with this whole like I heard that it was like a continuation of like his Inception story. You know, how we can like pretty much like go into our own subconsciousness and like rewire things and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I didn't get that from the film.
No, he didn't. they didn't really put that
I don't think
into it. Yeah.
To me, it almost looked like an indie film.
Yeah.
Because of the fact...
A very large budget indie film.
Yeah, and a very big name behind it.
Yeah.
Right, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, when the film came out, nobody knew who David Washington was.
Yeah.
If that's his name, I'm not sure, but, you know.
John David, yeah.
John David, yeah. I had no idea who the guy was.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was Denzel Washington's son, you know,
Oh, yeah.
which they probably put a big effort into having that, right? Because you said he done. But the fact of the matter is, like, yeah, I mean, it's just like, to me, I don't see any liable reasoning other than politics, right? To
Politics.
me. And I think politics has very, very heavy relevance in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, in anything, pretty much.
Definitely, yeah. You know what? And I definitely got that air of that they were casting him.
Yeah, and politics and also the sense that of the reviews that the movie got. I think it got the positive reviews because it's Christopher Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
And people have to say these things.
Yeah.
You know?
He doesn't have to try so hard to make a super important movie anymore. Doesn't.
Exactly. I mean, because he's made great movies, but now he can just make a fucking movie with nobody in it, and people are raving about it.
Yeah.
Because if you have The Rock or somebody on you know, coming out on fucking
The Rock would have been a way better choice for that movie, honestly.
For the movie, yeah, I don't think the role.
No.
I think come on, dude.
Who did you see in that role?
The role I saw, like it's like a Born Supremacy. It's right. It's didn't honestly, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Patterson was in it.
Yeah, he was.
Patterson was in it.
Yeah.
At first when I saw it, I was like, they could have just switched the roles.
Yeah.
They could have put Patterson. Again, didn't have to be a white guy. I know people, but I don't fucking know. Somebody, fucking Idris Elba.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody other than a child that looks like he just graduated high school.
But it's pretty interesting because you brought up politics, and so right now, especially with like Black Hollywood, it's like a thing that like a lot of Black roles are going to like Black British actors, and like Black Americans aren't. So then you have this British. Christopher Nolan's British, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think he's
probably.
Yeah, so you have this British movie, and then they're casting a Black American. So I don't know what the politics behind that.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, any type of dynamic when it comes to that sense is gonna have its own politics.
Yeah,
behind
for
it.
sure.
Whether you get a British Black guy or you get an African Black guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, everyone's gonna have something to say about
something to say about it.
I mean, and exactly like I just said right now, look at Patterson and David. They could have just switched it.
Yeah.
If this podcast was bigger, people would probably come on and be like, "Well, you're fucking racist because you wanted a white guy instead of a black guy." And that's why I said it has nothing to do with that. It's just the fact
it's nothing to do with that. No, but it's definitely it's like it was really cool to see that like John David was going to be in a Christopher Nolan film. It was cool, but after seeing the movie, there was no significance of casting this guy for that role, and it's not racist to say that.
I think even casting him, it doesn't look like they put any work into him physically to make him ready for that role.
Well, and then the thing too, like he didn't have honestly, like every movie has like a fucking love interest, bro. And he had none. So I'm thinking maybe this woman is going to be like his love interest. They're going to have like some kind of Flavor Flav Bridget relationship and they fucking work it out or something. I don't know. But it was directionless. It was pretty much like, oh, he's helping her with this facade, but he also has like some kind of like personal journey going on that Robert Pattinson was. I don't know if you got that far in the movie, but
like I said, I only got as far as when he was sitting down with the mega giant chick, and
I think we should watch this movie again.
Possibly,
yeah.
And he walks into the kitchen after the meeting with her, and then just fucking takes out her bodyguards for no fucking apparent reason.
Yeah.
That are like ginormous, gigantic over
Yeah.
him, and then he's like fucking Bruce Willis or something.
Well, do you want me to tell you the movie? I don't know if you
Yeah,
ever
yeah, I don't
watched
care.
this
You can
movie,
talk.
yeah.
I'm not gonna. Like I said, I turned it off after 20 minutes or
Yeah.
whatever. But
So what happened was this woman, she was like running from her. I don't know if this is her husband, the guy, the older guy that she was with, who owns like the yacht and all this other stuff. Apparently, he kidnapped their kid. He threatened to kill their kid. So she pretty much had to like hire John David Washington's character to like go back in time to help her save her kid and like kill her baby, her husband, her baby father. I don't know who the fuck he is exactly because the dialogue can really get. But that was pretty much like the gist of the movie. And then after they were able to kill the guy, go back in time, like kill the guy, John David Washington goes to meet up with Robert Pattinson. And I think one of them died at the end. I can't remember, but something really random.
I could see Patterson's character dying.
Yeah, I
just
think he
'cause
like died in it.
dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just from you telling me that brief, very brief plot already gives me a good insight in making a decision to not want to see the movie. I mean, you know, and again, I think.
So you know what I think? I think you should smoke weed and watch it, bro.
Well, that's the thing, you know. Joe Rogan said he loved the movie, and I'm like, yeah, because
And
you were
he's a
probably
genius.
blown up. Because he was blown in the fuck, you know,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
probably smoked, and
Yeah.
smoking. The thing is, yeah, when you're smoking weed, it's gonna change your perception of anything.
Mm.
The smoking weed is a psychedelic, and to me, I don't think that's fair. I think it's cheating.
You think so?
Well, yeah, because you can fucking put Rick and Morty on and laugh your ass off and go and tell your friends how great Rick and Morty is.
Yeah, you can't watch Rick and Morty sober.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
that's my point. And then if you're sitting at a fucking party, you know, somewhere hanging out with movie stars and shit, and then you start going off about Rick and Morty, they're like, is this guy fucking real? What is this guy doing on weekends? Does he sit around and smoke pot and fucking watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you know, again, and that's the subjectivity of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that Rick and Morty is geared to that. It's geared for you to fucking get high and sit on your couch and eat fucking Cheetos and watch Rick and Morty and be, you know, talk about how great it is with your fucking with your friends, right? But when, you know, in respect to creativity and movie making, you know, I shouldn't have to get high to enjoy your movie.
Mm. Well, would you say that about like Cheech and Chong or like Dazed and Confused, or you know?
I wouldn't say I'd have to be high to watch those movies.
Really?
In my opinion,
It helps though.
Fuck yeah. I mean, again, but Cheech and Chong is, I mean, to me, that's I don't want to say creative genius. I think that's a little pushing it, but I think it's comedy gold. I think it's funny shit.
Yeah.
Just a couple of fucking Hispanic dudes fucking acting like retards, right? Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah,
Right?
Dumb and Dumber.
And
You brought up Wedding Crashers, like
Wedding
one of my
Crashers.
all-time like favorite
Oh fuck
comedies.
yeah,
You know?
fuck yeah, dude! I love that movie. That movie is fucking fantastic, and there's
Probably like the best like comedic timing, comedic writing, like that one.
that movie has everything.
Yeah.
It has comedy, it has drama, it has love, it has a fairy tale, right? It has knowledge. I mean, he's dropping heavy knowledge on her about soulmates. I mean, real quick, I wanted to mention Dazed and Confused is a great movie.
Awesome movie.
It's a fucking great movie.
But I have to say, I was really high each time I've watched it. I've watched it twice.
Well, I can attest to the idea that you don't have to be high to
Okay.
actually enjoy it. It's a fantastic movie in my opinion. But yeah, Wedding Crashers is a fucking fantastic film. But again, I mean, I don't, you know, it's like, where are we going? Where are we going? You got to be high every time you watch something now? You know what I mean? Like, this is...
Yeah.
So, that's my idea is, like, Tenet, I'm sure when you're watching it and you're stoned out of your mind.
Fuck, man, that was difficult for me when I was stoned.
And that's the thing, too. I wouldn't be able to understand what the...
Well,
I can't
I mean-
keep up with it sober. How am I going to keep up with it?
Well, I mean, honestly, like, the marijuana culture these days, it's pretty much like, it's Californication. It's just like, it's like smoking a cigarette these days.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's just high. That's why there's so much traffic. That's why there's so much there's so many accidents that happen in LA. That's why it takes forever to get from fucking Hollywood to West Hollywood. It takes 30 minutes to get to, and it's ridiculous because everyone's fucking stoned. But, I mean, like, I think, being stoned, it does alter your reality a little bit. but it also, the thing about smoking weed is that, at least from my jurisdiction and the tribe that I'm part of, um, it's about maintaining the ego. And so what our ego does is constantly tell us, like, we see something that's different. Immediately we don't want to like it. Like, I'm the same way when it comes to like trends. I don't like I like to go against the grain. I don't like liking what everybody else likes. Um, but also I can pinpoint that is my ego. So even when I watch a movie, I'm like, fuck, I can't stand listening to British accents. But there are so, and think about how many people, or how many movies that I probably missed out on because my ego feels like I'm annoyed by British accents. So I think that the culture with marijuana and people getting stoned to, essentially like tolerate life a little better or a little more is, it's like you said, it's subjective. It's that it shouldn't. I don't think that it should be a clutch, but it definitely does help people to remove their ego from different situations in a more immediate sense. Um, when you're talking like smoking weed, like if I like in college, I smoked weed with like so many different ethnic groups or different people from nationalities, and it's a pretty awesome experience because it's different from alcohol. And alcohol, you're just like you're doing all these things and like you're on this wave of just like trying to have fun. And then when you can smoke weed with like somebody, it's like you really get to experience like that person, like that essence, because your walls are coming down, like our egos like keep us disconnected from each other, and it's like we're not really strangers. And marijuana like opens your oral, you know someone called it they called it like oral sex, actually, when you smoke weed with somebody. Your
Yeah.
auras are like
Aura.
aura, yeah. Your auras are spending time with each other in some sense. um
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm definitely an advocate for weed.
mhm,
In the sense that I don't think people should not be doing it. I think it's a positive thing for
mhm,
the most part. I think obviously it's medically positive, and I think that's the most important thing about it. To be honest with you, the fact that it's used recreationally, that's great too. For me, it just doesn't work because I can't have the same level of function
mhm.
when I'm high. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I wish I did. I genuinely wish, and I know exactly what you're talking about when you talk about the essential, like the social experiences that people have when you sit down in a circle, you're in a hang,
Mhm.
right, and you guys are smoking weed. It makes just sitting down and having a conversation that
Yeah,
much more fucking intense and
yeah.
exciting.
So,
I've been in those situations, the times when I could handle it, and it's cool. It's when you meet somebody that meeting gets that much better
mhm,
immensely
yeah,
once you guys are high,
yeah,
and it's completely different from drinking. I think drinking has that effect for a very minimal amount of that session,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
You drink, you get to the point where you feel really good and blissful,
yeah,
and then everyone's having a good time.
yeah,
Hennessy and enemies, makes
yeah,
sense, right? But then when you drink too much, it's not good.
yeah,
Then you're puking. Then you're blacking out,
yeah,
and you don't get that with weed. You're not gonna black out.
yeah,
You're not gonna typically you're not gonna get sick. You can't. I have. But again, just like anything else, I think some things are made for people and some things aren't.
okay, yeah,
You
true,
know?
yeah,
And that's my stance behind it. But
yeah,
I would never I don't this whole movement against weed, I think it's stupid.
yeah,
And I don't I definitely agree that people should be able to use weed recreationally.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't smoke weed if I didn't have coffee, bro.
Oh, really?
Because yeah, it balances me out, bro.
Really?
You know?
Okay, that's amazing.
And not that weed is like a downer, but like
Yeah.
it definitely makes me more like to myself.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm writing or I'm trying to think of like more creative ideas.
Yeah.
I rely on weed. Or if
Yeah.
I go hiking or exercising, I love weed because I spend more time with myself. But then if I drink coffee and I'm able to connect, I can talk to other people. You know.
Yeah.
So we have these things from the earth that we have the freedom to indulge in. They've been around for centuries.
Mhm.
I was reading about the discovery of coffee.
Mhm.
I was actually reading about the discovery of cocaine,
Wow.
and I was particularly interested in it because the Mayans used to use the coca plant to help people with energy, get more energy, and also help people with like asthma and bronchitis.
Mhm.
And so I had asthma growing up.
Mhm.
I did not have the coca plant, but I did start reading about it. And such great qualities the coca plant actually have.
Mhm.
So great that when Coca-Cola first came out, there was actual remnants of the coca plant in it. You know what I'm saying?
Coke in
Yeah,
Coca-Cola,
exactly.
yeah.
So we have these things, we have these resources, we have this medicine essentially. Obviously, we have to use these things in moderation. Definitely not like we have this greedy nature. Humans do.
Mhm.
Animals probably.
Right.
Animals have this greedy nature too. That we just like overindulge in shit and we completely destroy it.
Right.
Or we destroy what it stands for. We destroy the thing that it was originally made for or placed for.
Right.
And it gets a bad reputation. So I can definitely see like when I first started smoking weed. First of all, the first time that I was high in Chicago, I was with an ex-girlfriend of mine and we went to the museum. And I freaked the fuck out, bro. Like I got so trippy. Like I was like, we were at the museum and I'm just like, wow, just looking at all these paintings and just like realizing that like, wow, this was once reality.
Yeah.
Like it trips me out.
Yeah, it tripped you out. Yeah.
And at that point I wanted to stop smoking weed because
So
the
you were
thought of
high.
that
You were high experiencing this.
at the Art Institute in downtown.
It's an awesome museum.
Awesome museum.
Yeah.
Wonderful museum. And dude, like just thinking like, but honestly, if it wasn't for that kind of like those kind of experiences, I wouldn't have been able to form the empathy of like, of other cultures. Even the whole even being a Black American, dealing with the reality that like, oh, okay, yeah, there's slavery in this country. And it's so interesting because I'm a big Kanye West fan. He's from Chicago. He got in trouble for saying that, slavery was a choice after a while. And though maybe he didn't word it correctly, what he was trying to say, he was saying that like, there's a manipulation period. And Black people were not the only slaves in history. Like, maybe it was the most recent that we know of. But it's like, dude, like at some point, like some of those people, they didn't have the mental fortitude to make themselves unslaves, sort of say.
Yeah, I mean there was no, their mental was completely suppressed.
Yeah, completely suppressed.
More
so
yeah.
Imagine if you took all of those people who got to experience something that wasn't in their realm of existence. You know what I'm saying? Like an outer body experience. You can even argue to say that the people who wrote the Bible were obviously on shrooms or some fucking form of, like these things, like Moses talking to the burning bush, bro. It's like, of course,
it's
like
a hallucination.
Yeah, we these things are part of our biology, essentially.
Our reality.
And if some people don't get to indulge in them because the truth, fucking, Jack Nicholson said it best. You can't handle the truth.
Right?
Did Jack Nicholson say that or Tom Cruise?
It was Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
It was A Few Good Men.
Yeah, A Few Good Men.
Great movie.
A lot of people cannot handle the truth. So I say all that to say that when I got high for the first time in Chicago, I was probably like 19 years old. I was at the Art Institute, and just like dealing with that reality of like, you know, this life form actually exists. Life actually existed before I came here, and what it looked like, what it was. It's a trippy experience, and it's not for everybody. And that's why I'm in LA,
Yeah.
because I can handle like certain truths that like people in my family probably, can't handle. Even the whole movement of my sister, she's very feministic. She's a super feminist,
Yeah.
and she talks about trans rights and stuff like that. Which I'm not against trans rights. I'm definitely an
That's not a
advocate for.
feministic standpoint, though.
It's not. It's one of the the things that they fight for. I think because they fight for transgender people have been
Yeah, of course.
existing since the beginning of time as well. But dealing with the reality, my sister, God bless her, I can vouch, I can verily say that she probably doesn't know the reality of some transgender people.
Of course.
And like living here in West Hollywood, I used to go to work at 6 a.m. on fucking every day, and I see like the transgender sex workers getting picked up by like all these married men on the street.
Oh yeah.
On Santa Monica and La Brea, you know what I'm
Everywhere.
saying? It's like, yeah, so it's like, I don't know, it's like, and not that there's anything wrong with like sex workers, but it's like a lot of people don't understand a lot of realities. They only understand their own reality.
Right.
Or they only see their own reality. They don't understand their own reality, but they see their own reality.
Right.
And they don't have the mental fortitude to even imagine another reality. They only see theirs. And so I think that marijuana or psychedelics, period, definitely open you up to realms that you're not used to. Realms that, or maybe realms that you've probably experienced and you weren't mentally prepared for at first.
Yeah, kind of like opens your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my kind of first experiences with weed were kind of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, I know I don't smoke weed, and I claim I don't. I've kind of learned to microdose, so I can function and.
On shrooms or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Weed.
With weed, okay.
Yeah. So I don't do it regularly. I used to, but sometimes I go through phases. I like being sober. And I don't want to downplay your initial experience with weed and this kind of like open-mindedness you kind of came upon, but what you were explaining, I have that just being sober, right? When
Definitely.
When I see historic sites or landmarks or pieces of work, it just blows my mind to think about those people in that time, how far back humanity's history actually goes before the record of any history, right?
Yeah.
It's wild. But yeah, I mean, it's all relevant.
Yeah.
It's all relevant, and I think when in reference to kind of people and their fight, right? You have feminists, just almost every aspect of. Essentially, it's like tribalism.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's kind of fits themselves into a tribe.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's unfortunate because that's kind of like the point of where we see like the divide, right? It kind of creates lines. Now you're on this side.
You don't think it's natural?
Oh, I definitely think it's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it's natural. It's unfortunate because I feel like we should be already at a place in time in humanity where we should be more understanding of viewpoints, of kind of differentiating like truth and lies, manipulation, and agenda, and I just think we're falling more victim to it now.
Hmm.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Than we ever have.
Well, it's interesting you say that because even the whole concept of how America was founded. America's the most uh, forward-thinking country. We pretty much like simplified everything. Although I'm not gonna say that America's like the perfect child, but we're definitely like had that progressive thought of where people actually were able to come to America and were able to think more than what they were prescribed to think.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we changed the game.
We changed the game for sure, and it's only been almost 400 years. So
no, not thinking like 250, like
oh
250.
shit,
No,
are we around there? Oh shit,
yeah, because
it's a young country.
Very young, yeah. I mean, we've 1700s, right?
Yeah.
And now we're in 2000s.
Yeah. So, but the impact that America's already had is especially now that we run the media, we run most of the politics, we run most of the world intelligence. It's definitely I feel like it's hard to say that we're moving forward or moving back. I feel like it's always like one step forward and like two steps back in many situations.
Yeah.
So but I definitely agree that we definitely could be going more into like a more open culture. But I was reading this book called *Sapiens*, and it was a New York Times bestseller. It was a gift from an executive chef of a restaurant I worked at, and it was like the only reason that humans, what we think of as human, Homo sapiens, like we rose from the ranks of like the rest of the world or the rest of animals because we were able to organize in larger numbers than any other species. But mentally, the average person can manage about 100 people at one workplace. There's always multiple managers to handle multiple people because we are naturally like cliquish people. We're gonna find like really small like circles to like these are the people that I trust, these are the people that want to be trusted. Everybody wants to be part of the big circle, but still even the big circle you had like it's broken up in small circles. But that's the only reason our ability to organize is the only reason we were able to excel past the rest of the species on this planet. Now that we're going to the internet world, we're able to communicate and we're able to organize each other faster and a lot more efficiently than ever before. But we're able to still see all these different groups of people and all their different circles and all their angst and things that we don't like about that certain group of people and things that we do like about this group of people. And it creates even more conflict, more than it could possibly help, But we're still able to communicate and like congregate. And America is stronger because of the internet. You know what I'm saying? We're growing stronger because we have greater means of communication. But it's not going to solve all the problems, for sure. But does every problem need to be solved? Or do we just live in this world where good things happen, bad things happen? There are good people and there are bad people. We know which side, where we want to do, or even we want to indulge in both. People indulge in both. I just hate the construct of I look at life as we're constantly traveling through space and time like of electrons and protons. Neither can exist without the other, and we're constantly trying to eradicate one another. And it's just, what's the point? There's no point.
Yeah, that is a good point. That how it's kind of like biology.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
Even the Oedipus complex,
I haven't heard of that. I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's like a biological like standpoint that guys generally we want to kill our father and fuck our mothers.
Okay.
The Greeks.
Okay, I've
the
heard
Greeks
of
came up
that.
with this,
I've heard of that, but
yeah.
okay.
Oh, Oedipus, yeah.
Oedipus. That's kind of a wild idea, but might be more relevant than we know, or that we would care to.
Yeah, I don't think I never thought that it was like super technical. It's definitely we have like our fathers are first masculine teachers for most of us, and then we have our mother. She's the only one. She's the first person that generally is supposed to provide us with unconditional love, and even with and even with the girls that we date, you see remnants. Or if maybe some people
Absolutely.
do, most people see remnants of their mother, and vice versa. So
yeah, it's I think the reason that what is it, Oedipus?
Oh, Oedipus.
Oh,
yeah,
Oedipus.
Yeah.
I think the reason that has relevance is because it's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It goes to the deepest core of psychology. Okay, from a man's standpoint, but we have to say these things right today. But I mean, yeah, it goes to the bottom of the bottom of a psychological primitive nature,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like what else? What else is there?
Yeah.
But we're obviously more sophisticated, and especially today, to obviously,
like not kill our fathers and fuck our mothers.
Fuck our moms, yeah. But again,
well, now we have people trying to make pedophilia like a sexuality and accepted sexuality. So I don't know. This is where I go back and filmmaking. We try to make everything make sense, but all these contradictions exist.
And that's like it's crazy. Like how you were talking, like, do we get involved as individuals? Do we get involved and are forced to pick a side or not, and forced to try to bring people together, or do we just let it go and live your own life, right?
Yeah. I think I'm a gray Jedi. A gray Jedi. You know what that means? Like, I'm neither like
okay, you're like an independent.
I keep the balance.
Simpler terms.
Yeah. Keep the balance.
Yeah.
I'm a Libra, so
okay.
Keeps
You
everything.
you don't pick sides.
I mean,
you're kind of like a neutral state.
I can pick whatever side I want at will.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, bro, we've been talking for a little over an hour, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I think you're an intelligent dude. But listen, it doesn't have to end here. I can have you on again, because we can go on. My last one went 3 hours. I felt like I pushed it a little bit, but I had to cut out a ton of information and condense it. I don't want to have to do it here because I liked everything that we talked about, but yeah, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, man.
It was an amazing conversation, and again, hope we can have you on again sometime.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Okay.
Yeah, we're neighbors.
Yeah, dude, right here.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, brother.
Thanks, Doug.
Okay, take care, guys. Awesome. Yeah, that was great, man.